one of enemies at war with the whole oppression narrative. Women expectations in relationships are insanely high.
So if you're successful with women, it's bad. If you are uninterested in women, like a MGTOW, it's bad. And if you're unable to get with women, it's bad. You're an incel. And if you're just like trying to like, you're not even concerned with women's issues, and instead you're basically choosing to focus on men's issues, like an MRA, guess what? It's bad.
The fact is that men are noticing this, and they're saying, hey, I got this pressure on me, and I don't know if I like it. And then they're like, oh my God, they're a bunch of misogynists for noticing.
A quarter of men bleakly said that they believe no one would fall in love with them.
Is it possible that the men are right, and the average woman no longer thinks that the average man is...
Okay, hello everybody, welcome back to Honey Badger Radio. My name is Brian, I'm here with Alison, and this is our live fundraiser stream done through Rumble primarily and YouTube's mobile layout. So if you're watching this and you're on the mobile and you're like, where's the horizontal? There is no horizontal on YouTube, but there is one on Rumble. So we ask that you guys go check it out there. Yeah, so this is the gamified portion of our monthly fundraiser. Alison, why don't you tell people what's up with that? How does that work?
All right, so our monthly fundraiser is live at feedthebadger.com/support. So if you want to support our work, which is, we do, if you need to know what we do, we talk to people who are impacted by the feminist industrial complex and negatively impacted. I mean, I don't think the individuals, all those Fed back stopped stock buyback CEOs who are positively impacted by the feminist industrial complex would ever even acknowledge our existence. But yeah, we talk to the people who are harmed by it. Although interestingly enough, I don't know if you saw this email, Brian, the individual responsible for the Towards an Individualistic Reproduction has reached out to us.
Really?
And asked if we would bring him on board onto the show.
No, I did not know that.
Astounding, because we pretty much dragged him through the coals. But
maybe that's why. Maybe he's gonna crush us in a debate using facts, logic, and reason. We're gonna get absolutely destroyed.
Yeah, maybe. Or maybe I will give him this. At the very least, he offered something. Like, we didn't get to it at the time. We haven't gotten to that part of his article. But I suppose telling men that they can reproduce with sex bots is something, It's more than the average, I'm not sure if he's a feminist, but more than the average academician will give men. So there you go. But anyway, so we talk to those who will talk to us, those who are harmed by the feminist industrial complex, and those who are fellow travelers and will just talk to us anyway. So there you go. And I also am currently researching. See, this was just a segue so I could talk about my current research.
Yeah.
Just an aside, guys. I'm currently doing a autopsy of the theoretical feminist literature. I'm using the word theory very loosely here because it's not. None of it has proven any explanatory power, which is what a theory requires. Right? It either needs to be proven empirically true or explain things better than the next thing. Okay? Feminism doesn't do any of that. All right, but I've been going through the field and trying to find the provenance of the word patriarchy. And so far, I can't, like, there's no origin. Right? There's no origin of how feminists use patriarchy. So I've been going through, I have located 2,431 feminist papers that use the term patriarchy or refer to the term patriarchy. Only about 10 of them actually define it. Now I have to mosey on into the deep lore of feminism to see if I can locate where they operationalize the term patriarchy. And you'd think that they would have done this, like they would have approached their central claim that justifies their entire field's existence very rigorously. But I don't know if our audience will be surprised to know that it looks like they just pulled it out of their ass. It's got a lot of ass pulling qualities to it, because There's no central, like usually when there's a central concept that it's proposed by a researcher, other researchers will cite that concept. They might expand on it, they might apply it in different areas, but they'll cite it. It doesn't seem like it's converging on anything. And then the other thing is that it's almost never used as an actual tool. So theories are tools, they have explanatory power, they make predictions. Patriarchy doesn't seem to be used like that. It's just like a black category of who we blame. And that's not really science, guys. I hate to tell you, I've been examining the feminist corpus, and I'm not seeing a lot of science.
Yeah.
Not a lot. In fact, I'm yet to find a single speck. I will tell you when I locate the source of feminist science, but I have gone through 13,000. Now, admittedly, not by hand. I've been using Python scripts to go through it to locate patriarchy, anything that mentions patriarchy, and then anything that mentions patriarchy in the context of defining it or treating it like a tool. And then looking at those things, it's so far, nothing. I haven't found a single speck of goddamn science. Not a single speck. But I will keep you all informed, right, as I venture into the mines that is feminist scholarship. And if I am to find a single speck of science around the term patriarchy, you guys will be the first to know. In fact, I think you guys will be the first in the world to know. There you go. Anyway, so that's what I've been doing. So you guys wonder how I spend my days. It's sorting through feminist abstracts. I probably know more about feminism than any living human being. That is terrifying. Like
that's something of a claim.
Yeah, that's something that's not really what I wanted my life to amount to, but here it is. I feel like somebody needs to do it. Somebody needs to examine the organism, autopsy it, dissect it, discover its hows and why fors. Anyway, so that's what I'm up to. If you want to support me continuing to destroy my mind, go to feedthebadger.com/support. Eventually, this will become something like a publication or maybe a database of research materials that I develop that you guys can query or something. It'll become something more than just me wittering on and ranting. But anyway, support my research, feedthebadger.com/support. You can do that just directly. You don't have to involve yourself in the monetized aspect of the fundraiser. That's just if you want to torture me more, but in a physical way. So feedthebadger.com/support to keep this channel rolling, and feedthebadger.com/justthetip. This is how you are going to send your song requests, because I'm going to get now into what we're doing. So Beatsaber is a rhythm game. You hit blocks with lightsabers.
In virtual reality.
And to a rhythm in virtual reality. I'm not actually doing it in real reality. And you can find songs at beatsaber.com. Make sure they exist. Don't just send your song request in willy-nilly, because they might not have one. They might not have it. They're very unique, the people who customize Beatsaber levels. Their tastes are very unique. So go to beatsaber.com. Make sure that song is available. Your song is available. Then go to feedthebadger.com/justthetip. Put your song request through. It'll pop up on my dashboard. It's the very best way. Like, you can put it through Super Chat, but I have to rely on Brian, and then you get to watch the excruciatingly painful process of Brian explaining to me how things are spelled. I guess that might be entertaining to some of you, but anyway, if you put it through Beatsaber or feedthebadger.com/justthetip, that doesn't have to happen. So it's the best way for you to send it in. And if I get through it on the maximum difficulty, or if I get in the top 100, then on your honor, you will go to feedthebadger.com/support and put in $25 in the hat for myself, Brian, and the other research nebbish, Hannah. Research maven, like research mole, something like that. The other one that just sort of sits in the data mines. All right, so those are and HBR for the entire HBR crew, which is more than just Brian, myself, and Hannah. But okay, So we have one song. We'll go for 4. Does anybody
4
talking
more or
about
4 in total?
4 more.
Okay,
Like
okay.
4 in total. I'll okay, so get the song requests in. And before we do that, do you have anything you want to talk about, Brian? Because we usually do something.
I know, but I
But I
didn't
got
have time this weekend. Lindsay has had like serious back problems, and so I've
oh
been like picking up all the slack around here, which I don't mind doing, but it means I don't have time for anything else because she's literally like bedridden all weekend, and she's been out of it since Wednesday night, and she's
mm,
still like bedridden, and she has to go back to work on Tuesday, but she had to call off a couple days. So because of that, I've been, you know, cooking, cleaning, running all the errands, doing stuff around here, and managing the show stuff. So I haven't had any real time to myself, which is,
understandable.
look, I love her. I'm taking care of her. She did it for me when I was sick. I'm not complaining, but it does mean that I haven't really done much with my time. I did notice,
That's okay.
I haven't
Go ahead.
I haven't followed through on this yet or whatever, but someone left us a comment on one of our streams asking if
Mm-hmm.
we had
If we're
checked out,
AI.
huh? No, I've seen
Asking if
those
we're
comments
AI.
too. No. We're not AI.
How
Um
much do I have to frickin' stutter before people are like, there's no way anybody paid money to create a voice like that?
I think
Jesus
people
Christ.
are just, like some people are very triggered by the existence of AI. I don't know how else to describe it, but all I'll say is that like that's not what I'm talking about. Someone asked if we would do a review or discussion about the film Obsession, and the movie Obsession came out. There's a rumble link in the YouTuber description that leads to a previous fundraiser, not the current one. What? What the? Hold on a second. That is wild because I totally copy pasted it. I don't know if it's I don't know why that's happening, but I'll drop it in there right now under show announcements. I'll do it again. I literally just copied this from Rumble itself, but okay. Sorry about that, guys. I no idea. Let me just
All right.
remove this. But anyway, so there was this movie that just came out really, really recently called Obsession, and it's about. And look, I don't know, I haven't seen it yet, but it's been making a lot of money. It's been doing really well in theaters and stuff, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that it was made on like a very small budget by like a YouTube content creator, so not a Hollywood thing, right? It's made by there's been a couple of these like movies that have come out of like the internet, like Backrooms is also doing really well. Markiplier, who's like I guess like a really famous streamer that plays like horror games, specifically those Five Nights at Freddy's games. He made a movie. I can't even remember. I think it's called Iron Lung, and they're all like blowing up, making a lot of money. So anyway, Obsession is a movie about I guess there's a boy, a teenage boy, and he's in love with a girl that he has known for a long time, but she hasn't reciprocated. She hasn't turned him down. I guess he doesn't know, how she feels about him, but he finds a way to get her to love him, and so he basically finds like I don't know. He gets like a wish granted, and it's like a monkey's paw thing, where the wish is granted, but it basically is one of these be careful what you wish for type stories. And people were saying that it might be an interesting way to look at it from a men's issues angle. And I've also seen that people have said that Obsession is a feminist movie because it's like, supposedly like talking about like male entitlement and things like this. Don't know that for sure, but that's just what I've heard. So some people were saying we should watch it. Now, I think that it's available for streaming now, like on somewhere, I don't know, but So it's something to consider. I think there is a way to watch it, but yeah. So it's let's see, what is the I'm just gonna grab the plot synopsis really quick, I guess. Okay, Rotten Tomatoes, Obsession. After breaking the mysterious One Wish Willow to win his crush's heart, a hopeless romantic finds himself getting exactly what he asked for, but soon discovers that some desires come at a dark, sinister price. Um, Again, I haven't seen it yet, but some people were suggesting that we check it out. So I don't know if have you guys ever seen it? Let me know.
I've
So what?
I've seen something from Medium because I get the feminist Medium corpus
Uh,
emailed to me because I've also
about
scraped
that
it
movie?
too.
Yeah,
Yeah, about that movie. And I didn't read the actual article because I haven't watched the movie, but the headline was some supposed anti-misogyny films are actually misogynistic. So I'm guessing that this one failed the feminist sniff test. Not that
yeah,
anything actually doesn't fail it, right? Like, there's nothing that can't there's nothing that can really pass whatever bar feminism is set for the universe. Um and so that's okay, so I think we got
I
another
got
song
another
request.
request. Yes, tell him
Yeah.
Nar.
Yeah, so we're at 2 requests now.
Two,
So 3
three
more
more.
and then yeah, 3 more.
Yeah,
But yeah, so I think that there may be a case that it's not feminist. I mean, you can have a story about obsessive love, that even
absolutely.
obsessive love that a boy or young man is engaging in, that's a cautionary tale, and it's not feminist, right? It doesn't have to be feminist. Like this is something that I thought about like years ago, right? They assume for themselves the policing of men, but the truth is that men have always policed each other. Okay? And honestly, like let's use a recent or not too recent, like mid-recent example, Giselle, the French woman who
Yeah,
apparently could lose 2 to 3 days of her life every week and not notice. Um Yeah, the feminists will say, well, oh, her exploitation was due to patriarchy. No, the institutions that protected her, I'm guessing, were entirely French men, and her abuse would never have been discovered if French male cops hadn't found the footage and pursued what was going on. Because she wasn't even in a position. Apparently, she wasn't even in a position to protect herself. These cops who are no doubt male, right? These detectives had to do it
yeah,
for her, right? So if let's imagine that Gizelle, I think it was Gizelle, no, Gizelle, yeah, something like that. I'm just really terrible with names. Let's imagine that she was in Femtopia. She would still be being raped by her female girlfriend, her girlfriend, and her girlfriend's creepy friends, and whatever other people her girlfriend could find on the internet, because women don't police each other. So the very fact that men police each other is an actual positive feature of manhood. So having a story that's a cautionary tale about a boy's obsessive love, even, and I assume it's created by a man, is actually a function of masculinity policing itself. So it has nothing to do with feminism.
yeah,
And feminists should not be allowed to claim that. They have nothing to do with men policing other men. They just exploit something that already exists. And and I realized this when I was like arguing with a feminist, and she said, replied something like, well, men's rights activists, they protect men who are I'm like abusive. I'm like, no, they don't. I don't see any men's rights activists who are saying that even men are significantly less abusive than women, or deny that men can be abusive or criminal. I don't know of any men's rights activist that does that, right? Or says that a criminal man is not culpable for his actions because of the matriarchy, the femosphere. Like, this is the behavior of feminists, and it's the behavior of feminists because women apparently don't natively police their own, particularly when it comes to how women treat men, whereas men very much police other men in terms of how they treat women. So it's like, this is so anyway, I just wanted to point that out, that this doesn't necessarily have to be feminist just because it's about policing
Of course.
or just a cautionary tale about
Mm-hmm.
bad male behavior. Particularly if either the young man learns the error of his ways, or if there's a positive, a more heroic male archetype in the story, which is, I'm guessing, maybe where the feminist, oh, this is actually still misogynist thing is probably coming from. Right? But anyway,
Yeah.
those are my thoughts. I have not watched it. I didn't read that article. I just sort of know where Medium articles go because I've read enough of them.
Sure.
Yeah, you know
I
what I mean, Brian. You get this kind of this archetypal Medium article format
100%.
in your head.
It's almost like I think Medium creates like a culture of that. Like if you're on Medium and you're writing blogs for Medium, then you're probably also reading blogs on Medium. And if everyone on Medium, or like a mass, let's say a critical mass of people on Medium are writing about the same things from the same perspectives, and they're getting a lot of views and they're getting a lot of support and they're getting a lot of discussion, and you're blogging there, you're probably going to alter what you write so that you fit in a little bit more, either because your reading it has changed you, or you're trying to like basically follow the crowd, you know, like whatever. If you're on Medium, then you're following like the fashion of the day of that. So you're gonna you it basically gets to a point where whatever people are blogging about on Medium becomes really predictable. I don't know, like based on what we have covered in our like lazy gaming streams where we go through a Medium article while playing Repo, they're all starting to sound the same. Like they all have the same talking points. They all have the same, uh, conclusions, assumptions, mind reading, and I think a lot of it is because they are kind of a giant, loosely connected friend group where everyone has to have the same views because they don't want to get excluded. So I think that's just I don't know, the way it was always meant to go. It's kind of like how, just like academic papers, if you're writing an academic paper, you are going to do better if your academic paper toes the line and doesn't go against the grain with all the other academic papers. So because all the other academic papers are, woke and feminist in some way, some of the ones that are really obvious, like sociological papers that make claims, but they'll be even the ones that are trying to be completely objective, like, I don't know, a paper that's looking at, I don't know, something like, the declining birth rates. And because they're in that same ecosystem, they're like, well, patriarchy is real and men do oppress women, so let's take that into account when writing our paper about birth rates. And that's why that paper we're going through, at least, I mean, I'm assuming here, I don't claim to know what I'm talking about, but I think that's why that paper, despite the fact that it appears to be academically sound, is also drawing conclusions. Like it's leaving out things and it's assuming things about men and women. And I think those assumptions come from the broader culture of that, So one thing I will
Yep.
say, one thing I will say about obsession, that I think it could be really great for different reasons. Like I think that the way I could see it working is if the ultimate conclusion of the film was something about like how this guy is a hopeless romantic, and his idea about what love is and what romance is already like corrupted because he's got this romantic model in his head, and that means that he wouldn't be interested in women for something that they have to offer him as a partner. Like he would only see them because he has this gynocentric mindset about women, and that's what leads to his downfall. And because he sees women as like better than him, so he thinks the world of this girl, but she's probably a mess in her own way. I haven't seen the movie, I don't know, but like if I was writing a movie like that, I would leave most of that stuff in there, but the ultimate conclusion would not be it's misogynistic to desire a partner, which I think is what a lot of people are reading into it, but rather it's dangerous as a man to like uh to go into relationships thinking the woman that you're trying to like attract is better than you, and that is where the downfall might be. Does that make sense? And
Yes.
like basically it could be an anti gynocentrism movie if they if they told the story that way. But I don't think that this movie is that. I don't think that at all, because a lot of people still sort of like, most people still buy into the romantic ethic of pair bonding, especially now that we have like dating apps and stuff where like the separation between male and female is bigger. Like at least before, like when we had dating, like in the 20th century, right? We had dating. You still went out with people that you were around a lot. Like so, in the old days, it was like you're in the farm, and the farm next door or the people in your town or village, there's a girl, she's your age. It was almost like, arranged before you even became an adult. And I don't mean like in the way that movies often paint it, where it's like, I don't love them. No, I mean like because you were in the same community and you knew each other, it was just like a very pragmatic thing. Well, let's just get these two married, right? They're about the same age, they look like they can whatever, right? They'll start a nice family. And then, because I think courtly love or courtship stuff, I don't know that that was happening on like at like like with peasants, right? I mean, was it?
Uh, yeah, probably, but it wasn't like I think you need to make the distinction between courtly love,
No, courtship.
which
I mean,
is
like
courtship.
wooing,
Yes,
wooing
yes,
somebody.
yes. That would have been happening with peasants,
Yeah,
right? That would
but like,
they
but it
had
would have it
it,
would have
but
depended on proximity, though, right?
yeah, it would have. I mean, to a degree, because the church put in this like you don't marry your cousin thing, so proximity. You'd have to go pretty far. Like you couldn't just be a couple of families in a town, right? You'd have
Yeah,
to try to make an effort to find someone who wasn't a cousin, which I encourage like the genealogy thing with churches, genealogical records. But yeah,
yeah, but you weren't. But you, yeah,
peasants would have.
but
Okay,
this. Yeah, go ahead, finish.
let me clarify. Like the Christian process for pair bonding does involve courtship, and it does have like a what we might term a romantic component insofar as the relationship is seen as central. So the bond emerges from the relationship between the man and the woman. So it comes out of that, and it's sanctified by the church, by the community, etc.
Mm.
So there is a courtship component to it, even with peasants. There probably wouldn't have been as much with actually nobility, because everything would have been about legacy and inheritance and that kind of thing. What we're talking about with courtly love is not, it's like a separate thing. It's like an obsessional love that isn't actually supposed to end with a marriage. It's supposed to, it's almost the same thing as like the Chinese
It's like an
kind of,
infatuation.
it's an obsession and an infatuation. Yeah, it's an obsession, but it's like the Chinese have a similar concept to it too. And just a sec, if I'm going to find that. Um, the Chinese concept is, give me 1 second.
Sure.
But they have their own concept. It's like the same idea as the Red Room. And if you actually watch like a lot of East Asian romances,
Like
uh, Quinn,
Korean romance drama
Korean,
things.
yeah,
I know that those
Zing
are really
Quinn,
popular, the Korean ones specifically.
concept associated with Tang, Zhenzu, Xiangzu, the Peony Pavilion, where Qing is powerful enough to reverse death. Okay, so it's an obsessive, foolish devotion, a deep feeling, and a bitter, painful love. So the Chinese have a similar concept. It's a broad philosophical feeling that acquired this charge in the late Ming. And so, okay, so they have a similar concept to it, which is just this kind of obsessional love that doesn't work within marriage. It's like outside of that.
Yeah.
And so the problem is that we've taken Christian courtship and that kind of and I would call the romantic connection, which is this idea that the love bond emerges from the interaction of the man and the woman. And we've taken, and that leads to marriage. That's the thing. It's like it's sanctified and it leads to a pillar of the society. Whereas courtly love is obsessional love, and it's usually destructive in some kind of way.
Yeah.
And it's outside society. It's often adulterous. It's the same with the Chinese concept. Which when you look at romances, like this is something that I noticed. Now I haven't seen a heck of a lot of romantic films from East Asia, but I noticed that almost always, actually always, they involve an adulterous couple. So it's like,
Oh yeah, yeah.
that's not that's not the
That's
case with the West. Like a romance ends with a marriage,
marriage.
usually in the West.
Happily ever
Yeah,
after, right?
a happily ever after in the West. Whereas in the East Asian tradition, it's an adulterous affair that usually blows up destructively. I'm thinking of one where it was
Like, is it
between
supposed to be
this
more like cautionary then?
cautionary.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think there's a good argument to be made that it's more cautionary. So I don't know if it's a good idea to compare courtly love to the Christian concept of a romantic marriage. And so like a romance that leads to marriage, because that's supposed to lead to stability. And it's a big part of how Christianity did. Like wherever Christianity is, this concept that the relationship comes out of the man and the woman sort of co travels, and Christian societies end up having this idea. Now, I don't know if I'm conveying the difference correctly, but and I'm not saying that individuals who are part of kinship societies
Yeah.
don't understand like a kind of a affiliative love,
Yeah.
or even a romantic love, because they do. In some cases, these marriages that are arranged do have a romantic component to them, or that love arises out of their like building together and being part of their system. So it's not like they don't know what love between a man and a woman is, or they don't have a tradition that recognizes it. It's just that it's the bond itself is supposed to come from the family arrangement, right? So
Yeah.
that's where the bond comes from. Okay, so it's downstream of the person that is selected for you by your grandma, not who you select.
Right.
Okay, and then
Yeah.
with the matchmaker societies, it's
I gotta mute for
downstream
a
of,
second. I'm sorry, but I'm still here. Go ahead.
okay, it's downstream of who the matchmaker selects for you within your community. And it's a social obligation. So you go to the matchmaker, you get matched up, the relationship comes out of that, as opposed to being something that is selected by the man or the woman and developed through courtship. So that's the difference. And like I said, I don't think you can really put courtly love in the same position of how Christians arrange their relationships and how they see the bond forming. And they see the bond forming in the connection between a man and a woman. So that's where it starts. It doesn't start with grandma tells you to marry your cousin Heath, Hector or whatever. And it doesn't start with the matchmaker has arranged you, has decided that, whoever is your new partner, right? Said you're gonna marry Angela. Like that's who you've matched with. That's who you've sorted to. So anyway, and like the Christian system is actually really has a lot of resilience. Are you back yet? Okay, I'll just keep going. The Christian system has a lot of resilience relative to the other systems. The matchmaking system has completely cratered, and there's an argument to be made that the reason why the Japanese haven't followed the Korean model, like the Korean model is basically the floor of fertility. There's nothing happening in Korea. They are dead in the water, shall we speak, and they were a matchmaking culture with also a strong custodial like male custodial legal and social position. So what that means is that men occupied the role of provider, and because they occupied the role of provider for Korean societies, they became that developed their value. So when a woman would marry, she would be seeing that as an increase in her status because she's marrying somebody who would provide for her. And when you get rid of that, which is what happened during the Asian crisis and the financial restructuring, they got rid of all of that in the guise of neoliberal feminism. But what it really was is they wanted to be able to sell these Korean corporations as assets, and they couldn't do that with an unfireable employee base. So, but anyway, so they got rid of all of the custodial laws and the custodial expectations, which got rid of that value added proposition for Korean men. And it also tanked a lot of their economic prospects at the same time. And then they installed Western feminism, which further destroys men as a marriage prospect, because on top of not being providers, they are now the site of oppression for a woman, which is the worst possible thing to say about men in the marriage market. You're basically giving them absolutely beyond negative value, right? You're basically saying to women, you self-annihilate in choosing a man for marriage. And the Korean market was again a marriage broker, like a matchmaker kind of mating regime, and a social obligation. So you were socially obligated to marry, and you were matchmaked. So it was almost like marriage was a job. You're socially obligated to get married. You're socially obligated to get a job. The matchmaker sorts you into your correct position, and there you go. But now Korean women are like, men are not providers, so I don't gain status there. And I have to face self-annihilation by choosing one, so I don't gain, I lose there.
Yeah.
And yeah. And then the feminists in Korea are actively destroying the attempts to recreate the matchmaker situation or the matchmaker institution by calling it patriarchal oppression. So it's just a complete disaster in Korea. And they don't have that native, if it was a Christian society, at the very least, a relationship, like a man loving you, would be seen as a benefit in and of itself. That's what romantic love does. It creates in women the perception that being loved by a man is a benefit in and of itself. It's something you want in and of itself. They don't have that in Korea, at least not like in the West. So, I mean, if you're going to go East Asian women don't have that cultural tradition that recognizes that being loved as by a man is a benefit. What the benefit is it is a social obligation. You gain a provider. If he loves you, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Won't throw him out of bed for eating cookies, but if for loving me, but that's not the point. Right? The point is that you gain socially, you gain status. This is even more so, I think, in China, which is why China sits at 1. They have the whole, if I'm going to get a man, I need to gain status. And that's not That's not happening because of the again, the career prospects for men in a society that's mostly about financialization and moving things around, not as good as one that's about production. So you're seeing the same problem in China, but at least China doesn't have the feminist firewall installed. So there, that's, I guess, worth 0.3, 1/3 of a child for China. And then you have Japan, which is not doing great. It's still 1.2, but it's doing better than both China and Korea because its feminism is categorically different. It's more like Soviet feminism, womenomics, which is just like promoting women in the workplace, promoting women in education, that kind of thing, without tearing down men, which is just a different kind of approach, and also proof that you don't need to tear down men to increase women's workplace participation. That's something else entirely. Even if women moving into the workplace was something that had to happen because, again, having the prosperity to have one partner in a relationship do nothing, it's that we did that once in all of human history for 20 years. It's not something that's sustainable, obviously. So women going into the workplace probably was something that was going to happen anyway. So you don't need the feminist construction that everything is about patriarchal oppression in order to do that. The Soviets proved that, and the Japanese proved that, right? So the Japanese don't have the kind of feminism that the West has. Plus, the Japanese have a lot, a lot of cultural transmission between them and the West. So what I hypothesize happened with Japan is they have imported this notion that being loved by a man is in and of itself a good, like a value, which is the Christian, which is a co-traveler of the Christian romantic tradition. And they have imported that. And they also have like a native internal kind of tradition, like a cultivation of the self, which is, I think, very amenable to some of the kind of ways that Western people think about internal monologue and internal experience being important. So I think Japan imported that kind of a little bit of that, or maybe even a lot of that romantic Christian notion. And so you still have the desire to pair up outside of the social obligation in Japan, and you don't have the feminist firewall that is going to attack any attempt to reassert the matchmaker. So they don't necessarily match up like we do in the West. With the West, there's sort of much more of an emphasis on pursuit and approach by men. That's the thing that's different around the world, right? So in the West, men approach, men pursue, and that means men are providing the function necessary for the West to reproduce, okay? And that's the utility that men provide that allow us to be romantic, right? To base our relationships on the romantic model. It's because men pursue, it's because men approach. And if we fail that, then we're going to be going back to either kin selection, which feminists will just have to shut up about, or we'll be going back to matchmaking, or we will be going back to kidnapping. Like, these are your options. If you cannot go back to the system that regards men's love as a positive thing, a value worth having for women, which, pursuit and approach are a part of that.
Yeah.
Okay, and again, like we have a lot of work to do to improve it, but I think that Japan imported that, but didn't import necessarily the approach and pursuit tradition. So they have women who do see being loved by a man as a good, but they don't have the pursuit and approach tradition. So when they recreate the matchmaker tradition, there's actually people who are interested in pursuing it. Whereas in Korea, apparently women have decided that men don't increase their status, men's love isn't a good, and men being in a relationship with a man is self-annihilation. So they're just going to ride that 0.7 probably down to 0. And then, of course, in China, they don't have the feminist firewall, so it's not quite as bad. But still, men don't improve women's status in China, so marriages aren't happening.
Yeah.
Whew. And that's the explanation, potential explanation for the difference between where Korea is at, where China is at, and where Japan is at. And also, it sort of gestures to why Europe, despite having removed all of its custodial laws that support kin selection or familial selection, and has the probably some of the worst feminist firewall bullshit on the planet, still manages to maintain like a 0.1, a 1.5. Like they're still managing to maintain something. And it's probably because we still have a tradition that being loved by a man is a good, like it is a value. It's brings something positive to a woman's life, you know? And
Yeah.
I don't think we want to necessarily get rid of that. Like when we talk about getting rid of romantic love, we're talking about throwing out the baby with the bathwater. So we're going to go from a system in which being loved by a man is considered a good, a value, right? So we're going to go to the, say, the Korean system or the kin selection system, where you don't like you don't see the relationship in terms of a man and a woman meeting and falling in love. You see the relationship in terms of who your grandma selected for you, who the matchmaker selected for you, and that's it. Like it's a very pragmatic, deterministic approach to sexual relationships, and it isn't necessarily more resilient. In fact, what I'm looking at now suggests it isn't. Like kin selection isn't resilient. Like
No.
once, if at some point, because what's keeping the resilience in kin selection is the fact that the countries that practice it still have those custodial laws, or alternatively they're like matrilinear. Like there is a kin selection matrilinear culture like in the Caribbean. So if we want to really like drive even further into feminist matriarchy, we could maybe make kin selection work that way, but I don't know if we want to do that. And
No.
but the kin selection relies on these custodial laws.
Yeah.
It's possible that once the custodial laws, like the male custodial laws, disappear, kin selection will crater, just like Korea did. And again, all of the countries, all of the Western romantic Christian romantic model countries, they're already maintaining a certain level of fertility despite the male custodial laws being a thing of the distant past at this point, and the firewall being in full flame. So that shows to me that the Christian romantic model is actually very resilient, and it's because it's distributed. It's
Yeah.
distributed. And what we really need to fix isn't go to a kin selection model, because that wouldn't necessarily solve anything, or go to a matchmaker model. We need to get rid of every institution, or we need to silence every pulpit in our society that's saying that men aren't a good in a relationship, like that men don't benefit women when they're in a relationship. So we need to get rid of, and this is the difficulty, right? We need to get rid of this pervasive bullshit about patriarchy, that heterosexuality is the site of female oppression. Therefore, a woman choosing a man is self-annihilating, because that's the competing narrative now. You have the romantic narrative that a man's love is something valuable, which is honestly entirely in line with what I'm seeing in terms of human biology and cognitive modality. Like it's true. And then the competing narrative to that in our society is that a man's love is a site of women's destruction. And when I say that, doesn't it sound absolutely repulsive?
Yeah.
Like that's the feminist assertion, that when a man loves a woman, he annihilates her. Or alternatively, that men are incapable of love. That's the feminist assertion. This is what we have been telling girls for, I don't know, 70 years now. When a
Mm-hmm.
man loves a woman, he destroys her on an atomic level, on a soul level. She is erased as a being. And that's directly in competition with the Christian romantic model, which is men's love is a good. It is something that is elevatory, like it elevates a woman, like Christ, let's say, elevated the church, right? And that's not like a subservient situation for men. It is a situation that by their presence women are elevated. Get what I'm saying? The difference?
Sure.
Are you
Sure.
sure? Like it sounds a
Yeah,
little
no,
bit.
no, no. Look. What I was, I guess, I didn't mean to say courtly love, or I mean like the dating rat race that we are living in now, and how dating wasn't a thing in the same way in the past. And I'm not saying this to say we should go back to that. I'm basically just talking about how we got here and how what we're
Yeah.
doing today is more dysfunctional than even when I was a kid. Like when I was a kid, we didn't have the internet yet, and I'm not blaming the internet. I think that's like a cop out, but when I was a kid, people who were getting married and meeting up and dating and stuff, it was always people in their area, in their community, whether it was they lived in the neighborhood, they went to the same school, they worked at the same job, they went to the same church, whatever it was. And that mean that usually baked into that was that they were vetted, in one way or another. Like, oh, I know this person, he or she is kind and, loving and all these other things, these qualities. And that comes out like, oh, this person is virtuous. I like that about them. I've known them my whole life, whatever, right? Like there's like a reason why I guess we have this idea of the girl next door. I think it's because there's somebody that like lives close to you and that you will know. And today, because we have all basically everything's become so much more accessible. Like the world is at our fingertips. People can meet each other from anywhere. And I'm not saying that that's bad, because obviously I met Lindsay that way. Like we're married and she lived in Canada. If we didn't have the internet, I wouldn't even know who she was, which is why I don't believe that the internet is the problem. But it has made us more, I guess as a side effect perhaps, we are more separated from our communities, because people, and especially women, they're looking outside. Like, I don't know why, but they're fascinated with the exotic or whatever, but they tend to be looking away from the people who are closest to them, because there is this whatever craving for something different or unique. And going back to the movie, and we have like plenty of requests at this point, by the way, so your rambling helped. Going back to the movie, I'm pretty sure that because most of us, especially like younger people, they've kind of internalized how normal this dysfunctional dating market is today, like to where they think this is just the way it is. And so they're making, they're telling stories about that without like, but they're not going to like pinpoint the problem, because to them, there is no problem. This is just what it is. It's not, this is the reality now. So like the idea that, you weren't just one person looking for somebody else, but rather you were part of a family and a community and everything else. And everyone was like, that was in that community was they if they liked you, they wanted the best for you. Maybe they try to set you up with somebody, whatever, right? You met somebody at school, you meet somebody at your job. But we don't do it that way anymore. And there's a lot of, I think feminism is part of the reasons why for that too, because they've basically made it impossible, unworkable to like meet people at your school or your job because of all these policies and things that have gone through. And they've also, made women and girls terrified of boys and men, and also hate them in many ways. So that makes it even more difficult. And I guess obsession, what I would say about it, based on what I know, again, I haven't seen it, is that it could be a commentary on the modern state of, what, not just of relationships, but the way that people think of what what love is. And I think that the truth is in the story, it sounds like the guy is infatuated, but not necessary. He doesn't really know the girl, right? Or I mean, I don't really know. I haven't seen it, so maybe I'm wrong. But I mean, that's how I would approach it, is to make it more of a commentary on the pitfalls of this infatuation, which people call love a lot, but it's not. It's just it's what women respond to when they say they're looking for the guy with the six pack and everything else. They're looking for a guy that basically, like, gets their stomach, they give the butterflies, right? But that's not
Mm-hmm.
enough to build a lifelong relationship on. It's just an infatuation, and no one wants to call it what it is anymore. Um, so yeah, I mean, that's what I would say about that. But we got a lot of super chats and stuff too, so I should read some of those before they get
Well,
buried.
before you do, the
Yeah.
last place that we had where women could kind of do that deep evaluation of a man's competence and his reliability was the workplace. But then women decided that they were going to destroy that too.
Yeah.
Like, and the powers that be were
Well, I
perfectly
think
happy
school
with
came
it.
after that. I think the sexual harassment policies in the workplace were first. And like the last time I
Yeah,
went to college, there was like college is not high school, but I know they're doing this in high school too. The last time I went to college, like first week or whatever of like the semester, every year they would put together they would basically warn women about the men in school. Like they would just tell them, yeah, like 1 in 3, I think they say something like 1 in 3 men will commit, like sexual assault or some kind of sexual crime in his time in school. And they literally said, so look around because there's like 1 in 3 of these guys, and the men were all just like, what the fuck? But this was college, so that sets the tone for the rest of the semester.
yep,
So
yep,
yeah,
and that's directly downstream of a certain class of people wanting to silence men when they get up to their shenanigans. Like if you wanna steal from the piggy bank, you got to get rid of the guard dog, and that's exactly what happened. That's the downstream effect of that is all of the condemnation of male sexuality, which is absolutely false because by the same statistics or the same methodology they use to find like 1 in 3, which is ridiculous. That's actually a complete lie. Um,
yeah, we know
they
that.
can find like 1 in 10, like similar statistics would find the same rate of women doing the same kind of sexual abuse, and yet they don't bring that up. And they don't bring it up because it's not consistent with their ideology, which again, when I find science in feminist theory, I'll tell you guys, but so far I haven't. 20 years, guys. 20 I'm not going on 20 years. And now my analysis of the feminist corpus is enhanced by the fact that I got all these pattern matching tools like research spreadsheet assistants that I can use. But still with all this, I'm still looking for the science and feminist academia. Very, very rare, and yet they still say that they're justified in going into a school and telling the men based on their flawed bullshit, like it's not even flawed, like flawed science still attempted to be science. Feminism has never even attempted to be science. So everything that they're asserting, they just pulled out of their ass, right? So when they go into a first year, freshman orientation, and they shame the crap out of every man there, they're doing that based on lies. Well, I mean, lies imply intent, but I think
Sure.
the legal standard of intent is actually met with feminists. So they are intentionally spreading falsehoods about men, and it's destroying our ability to couple, to reproduce ourselves.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's what's and the reason why they get so much reach, why they have so much free room, is because their narratives are very useful for silencing the men that would say, like, in a boardroom where some extractive psychopath says, "Hey, let's, we got the special Pokemon card in our vault. Nobody knows how many we have. Why don't we sell 400 of them?" Right? I mean, it'll just be on paper, but nobody can go in our vault and know that don't actually have 400. We only have one. And the guy in the room who's like, "Yeah, but what if they all ask for it at once?" And the dude, the financial extractor says, "Well, we'll just go to the government and they'll backstop us." Huh? It's the perfect scheme. By the way, ladies, don't you find this man who's saying we can't do this harassing? Oh yeah, he's mansplaining. Get him out. Like, I mean, this is a very simplified model, but all of this feminist gobbledygook hands the financially extractive sociopath a perfect weapon to get rid of any man who actually has integrity in the office place, right? It's a loyalty test. Like, feminism is a loyalty test. It's delivered to men. And how do you pass it? Well, you agree that your masculinity is bad. You agree that you have to virtue signal, like, what true goodness comes from is virtue signaling your allyship. All right, it doesn't come from checking the facts, like Caleb, the auditor, checking the figures. It doesn't come from checking the machinery. It doesn't come from checking the productivity. No, it doesn't come from those things. It comes from virtue signaling your concern for Martian rocks. Right? And that actually marginalizes every man who checks the figures, who checks the production, who checks the actual machinery. And he's out. And he can't, and the financial extractors, green light all the way. That's why. It doesn't even have to do that much with human mating. That's just a downstream effect of this poison. God damn. And then the women, the feminist women who aren't part of the, like, if you're not making money off of feminism, you're its stooge. Your feminism is making money off of you. That's what women need to know. They're not making money off of feminism. If they don't get an income from feminism, if feminism isn't paying their salary, if these financial extractors aren't shunting, a couple $1 million their way to do whatever weird feminist, I don't know, academia shit they want to do, right? That isn't happening. You're being taken advantage of. You're the product being sold, ladies. So you can sit there in the electrified, like the cage with the electrified floor, having ice cold water shot in your face in the feminist regime. You're in a little harem bucket, or your harem cage in the feminist regime, being tortured. And all of these women will sit there being tortured, and they'll all repeat the same thing. My pain is making the feminist project work. Therefore, it's good. It's like, would you like to get out of that? Like, this is where I'm at. I'm like looking at these women in these cages, in these electrified cages, being sprayed by ice water. I'm like, would you like to get out of that cage? How dare you? You hate women. No, I just hate feminism. Because I see what it is. And I see it's put you in a cage where you're miserable and justifying your misery by saying, "Oh, well, if I got out of this cage, then I would be defying the sisterhood and then I'd be erased as a woman and I need to be feminist. Give me more misery." I'm like, Jesus Christ, lady. Is this the life you want for yourself? But and this is what's astounding is I've seen feminists write papers that women's happiness isn't the point of feminism. Really? That's an astounding statement from a group of people who say you put the women first and that you're pro-woman. Oh, women's misery is just the cost of feminism. By the way, we're pro-women. No, you're not. Okay, anyway, that's a long rant. I probably should get to the...
Yeah, so I gotta read some super chows and then you should do the music. So,
I should shut
official
up.
reverse. What? What'd you say?
I should shut up. I should
Yeah,
shut
yeah.
up.
Yeah, just for a little bit. Just let me do this, okay? So, Official Reverse Traditionalism channel on YouTube gave us $25 and said, "Funny that 12 years ago, Alison was closer to social constructionism, and Karen was a bioessentialist, and now Alison is basically a bioessentialist, and Karen is in a black pill puddle somewhere. Maybe this song will get her to come out of hiding. I know she likes it," and then he puts a link to a song. Okay.
All right.
And we
So here's what I think. Okay. First of all, Karen has just gone through hell with her daughter, who nearly lost her feet. And if you want more information on that, you can go to Karen's Substack. I think Karen is exhausted with the sheer perfidy that the world is presenting now, like the sheer level of stupid malice. So I don't know what's going to happen.
she's contracting her focus to her family.
Yeah.
That's what I think is going on, and that's laudable in my opinion. But go ahead.
Yes. She's so I don't know. I mean, it's she's not doing it out of spite. She's just doing it because she's been besieged on multiple levels by life and the Canadian healthcare system. So we'll see what happens there. Don't expect anything. And it doesn't have anything to do with like any kind of animosity or anything. It's just life. Life happens. Deal with it. In terms of being bioessentialist, the reason why I was never social constructivist, guys. The reason why I was questioning bioessentialism is because I saw a lot of inconsistency, particularly in evopsych conclusions, shall we say. But now that I'm like really diving into the research myself, I can see that a lot of the stuff a lot of problems that I had with evopsych conclusions and stuff like the book The Demonic Male, which argued that men are, I don't know, made for violence inherently. Yeah, the problems I had with that, now that I'm actually delving into the research myself, were with those conclusions, not with the idea that a lot of human behavior does have a biological root. I think most of the conclusions about men and most of the conclusions about women in the so-called bioessentialist studies are wrong. Like, I'm going to give you one example of how stupid a lot of this stuff is when it comes to men and women. Okay, one example. Based on the vocalization of female elephant seals, anthropologists without any self-awareness assert that female humans vocalize during sex in order to elicit male-male competition. Do you understand what I'm saying, Brian?
No.
Okay. So biologists studied the vocalizations of female
Elephants.
elephant seals. Yeah, elephant seals. You know,
Yeah.
like the big bull
Oh, elephant
elephant.
seals, right. Okay.
Yeah, the big bull elephant seal with the giant nose, right?
Yeah, I know the ones, yeah.
Okay, they studied the vocalizations of the females of that species, and that they found that those female elephant seals vocalize because they're trying to elicit male-male competition over sexual access. And then they extrapolated to human women, right? Okay, Brian? So,
Yep.
for example, now this is sort of like a maybe an intimate example. If your wife, in the abstract, I'm not saying specifically you. Okay, let's just say if Lindsay vocalizes, it's because she wants to elicit competition from any man in your immediate vicinity. Sorry to make it intimate, but I was just using an example.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? Do you think that's accurate from your own experience? I hear laughter.
What?
Has that ever happened to you?
No.
Right? When you're having you're making, you're being intimate with your female partner and she vocalizes, and then immediately a bunch of men arrive to compete with you.
I mean, I'm up to you. I'm with you up until the men arrive. I've had all the other stuff before that happen, yes, but plot
No, but
twist, no
that's
one
the
else
thing.
was around.
That's what they're asserting. Female humans vocalize to elicit male-male competition.
Yeah.
And this is and if you think about it, like the anthropologist asserting that, let's just call him Norm. Does Norm ever think about, making sweet love to his wife and how often other men have arrived to challenge him? Like, do they ever walk this through? Or is the entire anthropology field a bunch of cucks? Like, this is bioessentialism, guys. This is the current state. It's absolute bullshit. So I haven't become a bioessentialist. Is that a lot of this stuff was ridiculous. And I'm like, I don't agree with that.
Yeah.
But once I'm doing the research with the original material, like the actual studies, like, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that is biologically, like, humans did evolve, or their biology underpins a lot of their behavior. So anyway, that's a long answer.
It's okay.
Yeah.
All right, next.
Sorry if I embarrassed you.
Next, I got a Rumble rant from Zeranx. He gives us 5 and says, could you make a video going into this more? I think I've super chatted the idea of men pursuing relationships in today in the vein of how arranged marriages used to occur, as I think they're stronger. He sent that through while you were ranting about Korea and Japan and stuff. So
arranged marriages are not stronger.
Yeah,
this is what I've discovered from my research.
Christian, yeah, I think it's community.
Yeah, that's
that's not arranged. I'm just saying, like, it's different.
Yeah, it's arranged marriages are not stronger from my research. What's happening with, for example, the Gulf states that still have those custodial laws, thus they have the kin selection arranged marriages. Fertility is declining in the marriage. So people get married, but they don't have sex with each other. Right?
Yep.
And in the East, with matchmaker-made marriages, it's considered a social obligation. So it's the same sort of situation. Christian marriages are more resilient, and when they happen, they result in more children because the partners actually do have a better connection. Now, it's not like a complete prescription. Like, it's not like you can't develop an intimacy in an arranged marriage, or alternatively, a matchmaked, like a arrangement made through a matchmaker, which then has a component of selection. So, for example, in Japan, they may matchmake 2 people, but if there isn't, and over time there doesn't develop that deeper connection, they might move to be matchmake to somebody else, right? So like, it's not that these systems aren't capable of creating love or a love connection. It's that based on the research I'm doing, they're not as resilient and they do not create as much a connection that is very, like, more fertile, basically. So Christian relationships, they are more fertile. I'll just leave it at that. How they get to be more fertile, well, you can infer. All right. So I probably should do the. By the way, guys, before I start, this is sort of to try to get the fundraiser up. So if you would, when I complete these, could you go to feedthebadger.com/support and put $25 in the hat in the fundraiser? Because that's the point. Like, I'm trying to fundraise, right? Not just get Super Chow. So that would be really appreciated if you would do that. That's feedthebadger.com/support. support. All right, I'm gonna get into the rig, right?
Okay.
Are we ready? I mean, we got 45
Yeah.
minutes, right? I
We
could
got
just
45
anybody
minutes.
else? Yeah.
Yeah, I got more
Anybody else have
super. I got more super chats. So,
Yeah, just read more
well,
then.
you go ahead and get in the rig, and I'll read them when you when you're back or whatever, when you're ready. But
Okay,
I'll
but
yeah. Anyway, let me see what some of you guys are saying. While Alison's getting in there into the
yeah,
mech.
I'm
Um,
in.
okay. So Dark Higimura gave us 5. Again, this was earlier while you were ranting. And said, what is the proper resolution to the fact that we have data that men are less likely to leave abusive relationships, but we also have a psychological evidence that women like to be treated like garbage? Because if women initiate 70% of divorces when women like to be treated like garbage, I don't want to see what it looks like when women have self-respect. I'm not sure there's a relationship there between men not being willing to leave abusive relationships, women wanting to be treated like garbage, and women also initiating 70% of divorces.
Yeah, I'd have
But
to think about that.
yeah,
I think the point is that he thinks that there'll be more men in bad relationships.
yeah, I guess, but like
Okay.
ultimately,
Okay, I got the Incredible.
we have to see that men can. How do I put this? Men don't have to put up with that stuff. I think that one of the reasons why they do goes back to this, like, sort of, I don't know, gynocentric model, I guess, where they just don't think women are a threat to them, even when they are. So I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Roboto gives us $1 on Rumble and says the real solution is World War III with everyone going to war. I hope you're being facetious there. Roboto then gives another Rumble rant he just did, like this was now, and says, is Alison bucking for Andrew Wilson's position on YouTube? I don't know what you're talking about. Is Andrew Wilson
What?
live right now or something? Is that why you're saying that? Okay. And then,
Well,
do you want
clarify
me to tell you the
everything.
songs?
No, I got him. Keep going.
Well, there's a couple that went through on YouTube. There's one that went through on YouTube. I thought there was
well, we probably, I think there were quite a few now.
Yeah. Do you want me to put up the no more requests thing?
First, I'm going to figure out how many we have, but
It,
you're going to have to give me an additional information because I'm getting some weeb shit from
2,
Royal
3,
Kusha
4,
Recursion.
5. We got 6.
Gravity Switcher, is this what you want? Okay, I'm going to download this, but I don't know if this is what you want. I did not take you for a weeb. All right, let's see what the next one is. We got 6? All right, well,
6.
we could go for 7. We'll go for 7. So Nightwish Nemo. Well, okay. Nightwish. And guys, when I get through these, please go to feedthebadger.com/support and put something in the hat. For the fundraiser. Nightwish Nemo.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. No, Nightwish Nemo? Nima. Is it with an O? Okay, here, I got it. Alright, I'm at 4. No, I'm at 3. And this one is 4. Why does it hurt when I pee? And then we got another one. Okay.
Well,
why do
Nightwish Nemo, did you get that? And also an anonymous person just sent $25 and didn't put a request. They just sent in $25 to a Super Chow.
Thank you very much. To Fatun. I don't know how to do the
Two
diphthongs.
futon. Oh, those little special characters. Yeah, I have no idea. What is that? Thai. Telemnar sent through a substitute link.
Bow. Well, you don't have
Let
to
me
say. I
see.
think I.
It's you want me to spell it for you? He sent or you
Oh,
know
here we
what?
go.
I'm gonna put it in the Discord. I'm just gonna drop it in here so you can just grab it from there. This is Telemnar. He sent it through on the chat. So it's right there. Maria Baraja says, "Can we multiplayer?"
No. Okay.
No.
Unfortunately, no. I don't know how to do that. Okay. So I got 4. I think 5. How many is here? Like, okay, 1 egregious
6. There's
Charles.
5 in the Discord.
Reverse official reverse. Okay, 2. Night Wish from Anonymous. Weeb shit from Telenar and Great Indoors. So that's 5. Okay, what's the one on Super Chow
Yeah,
or Super Chat?
Gabriel sent through one through YouTube. I'll just
Okay.
spell it for you.
All right,
So
sure.
SOICHI. SOICHI space TERADA.
A TERADA title screen?
Yeah. Terada.
Okay.
TERADA. And go ahead and search that. The song, I think it's the song name. It's called Mount Amazing 2. So see if that
Oh,
comes up. Do you see it?
okay, got it? Yeah, I got it. All right.
All right,
So I
that's all of
got all
them.
6. We will do one additional if you guys get it through. But remember, go to feedthebadger.com/support and put the $25 in there because I want to
Somebody
move that needle.
Somebody in the vertical asked if we were AI. Why do people insist on thinking that when we're talking to each other and reacting to the chat and everything? AI hasn't gotten that
Why?
sophisticated yet, guys.
Yeah, and why would you even think that anyone would pay to make a voice like mine? Like, what the hell?
Oh, you can make all
Like,
kinds of voices. I don't know.
yeah, but I'm pretty sure that AI doesn't have weird autistic fetishes and neologisms.
Yeah.
Neologisms? Bleh. You know those things where you like make up new words? Neologism. Bleh. Bleh. You think whatever.
I think I
The
know what you
word
mean.
that you make up new words. Yes, the neologism, like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So AI would might mispronounce things, but not the way I do. Okay. What's the first one again?
The first one is Apache Incredible Bongo Band. It's great indoors.
Okay. Doing Apache Incredible Bongo Band. Yeah, there we go.
Let me
Got my
see
right
here.
saber up, left
And in order to do Allison's, she would have to set that up on her end, which, you know, that could be a whole mess. So what we do is I made something where I took my original artwork, I did use AI to animate it, and then I created a PNG or like an animated GIF that reacts when sound goes through it. So when Allison talks, it talks, right? And it does its own animation. That way, I don't have to, like, Allison can walk away and whatever, and the character will still animate. The problem is obviously it's limited. Like, it only does like the same loop of animation every time she talks, just like mine does. But we are looking at getting like a real one. The only thing is that it'll be another sort of like I don't know how you put it. It's a little bit of an ordeal because when we get it, I'll have to feed. It'll have to be one that is set up so that when Allison's voice goes through, the VTuber, the character, the puppet, the marionette, whatever you want to call it, its mouth moves when Allison talks. But I have to control things like expressions and whatnot on my end, which I don't mind doing because Allison does go on long rants, so I can just hit a button and let it go. But they can be expensive. So if Leaflet has something that she's working on, I mean, it could be interesting. I think that it's just inevitable anyway, like that we're going to be using AI for stuff like this. In fact, I mean, there's obviously already right now, there are tools that will put a whole different person and even change their voice over you, right? That already exists. Like, people have already done that, where, you know, and it'll be like a real, like, looking person, you know, even like a real existing person, like a celebrity or something like that. And I mean, I don't know how much that stuff costs, but like, that's already happening. So I think that well, even this has advanced a lot from when I used to do it. I had like these sort of like, you know, animated characters where the mouths would move and that was it, and I was just feeding the audio into that. Um, but yeah, I've been trying to keep up with the technology.
I think it's probably inevitable that AI is going to be used as a tool. The problem is how it's being used. Like, it's
Sure.
don't get AI to write your scripts, or if you like get it to write, then train it heavily. Like, I mean, I've punished Claude, and now punished Claude avoids a lot of the AI bullshit in its writing. So I've gotten it so for example, when AI creates an argument, it just creates like it'll create say 3 paragraphs supporting the argument, but they're parallel, so you could move them around you could pick them up, they're modular. You could pick them up and slot them, put them in any order. And punished Claude, I've got it to the point where it'll create an argument and each paragraph builds on the last one.
Yeah.
And so it's progressive arguments, not just parallel. And there's other stuff that needs to be done to really make AI work. And it doesn't, like, don't use it like a text generator. Use it more like it collates your citations, it pattern matches to the data that you give it. Like, so make sure that you constrain the data that it's working on, that you vetted that data. Then it's reliable. You can't just ask it shit, because it'll just create the most hedged, like, just dumb responses. And don't get it to write. Like, never get it to write fiction, because it's terrible at that. But for example, if you train it well, so you train it to understand citation discipline, sourcing discipline, sourcing hierarchy, and all of that other stuff, if you train it well, then you can maybe use it to pull together bare assertions of facts. Like, don't use it to narrativize, don't use it to gloss. That should be what you do as a human. But it can do, like, you can take a paragraph and say fact one, fact two, fact three, like that. That's fine. It can write a basic factual sentence pretty well. But it takes a lot of work. All right, so I did Nemo. I'm gonna do why does it hurt when I pee? Pee. All right, there we go. Frank Zappa. That's good. I like Frank Zappa. So do we have that seventh song? I said I would do a seventh song.
Don't see anything yet. So let's get that last one in, guys. Appreciate it.
Seventh song.
There's
Surely there's one more person out there who wants a song.
yeah. So somebody in the chat, Nova fan, said, because I thought I would read it really quick here. He says, also for context, Brian, the people triggered by Leaflet are those who are able to control the VTubing community. If you requested them to make you a model, but you had wrongthink, so they would gatekeep. Yeah, I'm sure that there's a lot of that. Although I will say that it's interesting that there are a lot of, I don't think it's the majority, and I know people got pissed off when I brought this up before, but there are a lot of VTubers that seem to be like, I don't know, like, dare I say, based, which is weird compared to just sort of like, female streamers who tend to not be. I don't know why that is, but it does seem to be the case. Leaflet, Kirsha, Smug Alana. I'm not saying they're completely like MRAs. Don't misinterpret what I'm saying. I'm saying that they're probably more open to that conversation than than most. I'll just say that. So anyway, let's see. Yeah, so there is Leaflet's program is called Adventurer. It is available right now in alpha early access. It launched very recently. VTubers are already testing it and using it. So I'm gonna look it up. This is interesting. I'd be really curious to see how well it works. Okay, official download page. You find the links for AS Adventurer client. Okay. Currently in alpha. Expect some updates and possible bugs. Creator tool can use AI, Google Gemini, or work with your own art. Well, wait. Okay. So it uses AI insofar as, like, you can use AI art to make your character, but I already have art that I made. So I mean, this could still be useful.
Yeah, I'm doing Two Cut Han.
Okay.
This is Charles's request. Oh fuck.
There's also RFab's AI version from Basecamp from Malcolm and Simone Collins. Oh yeah, they've made a lot of AIs, or LLMs to be more precise. They've talked a lot about it when they've been on the show, so I don't know, if that's great or not. Well, let me check out Leaflets first. Hula Troopa says, has bare bones as your current setup is. I still enjoy watching Badger Chan lose her mind when Alison rants. Yeah. I like the, I made two, there's two Badger Chans, okay. Right? There's like the fully grown one that's a little developed, and then there's this one, which is the chibi version. Alison likes the chibi version. She feels a little self-conscious when she's like out there with the regular one, so we're using this one. But I don't mind it. I think it's better for street. It reminds me of, do you remember Sour Grape?
Yeah.
You know that Sour Grape is a VTuber now? Sawa Grape Sama is her name on and her VTuber persona is like this mad scientist with big glasses and pigtails. pretty funny. I don't watch her a lot, but I see her around every so often. I still talk to her occasionally, but yeah, it was like because she lived like right by me. She lived in Illinois when I lived in Chicago. What is a VTuber? You're looking at them. No, virtual YouTubers. They basically are cartoons or anime characters. Most often they're anime characters, but there's also like cartoons and furries and stuff. I think they call the cartoon ones, they call them toon-tubers, but they're really just VTubers. Like it is not that serious. So we use cookies.
Okay, this is actually really fucking hard, so I'm not going to speak.
Yeah. Turn your facial expressions and voice to a live animated character on stream. No expensive motion capture or powerful hardware required. Connect your iPhone. I don't have iPhone. Or use your webcam. Okay. An AS Adventurer reads your facial expressions in real time. That's interesting. That's pretty cool. I got another one from Dark Kikimura. It's another Super Chow in. And it's another request. So I think we got all of them now. He says, this band, The Sweet, wrote a different song called Set Me Free after a group of women falsely accused the band of something and they were sent to jail. Wow. There was this compilation of Japanese VTubers saying the N-word. Yeah, I know that's out there. The Japanese, what do they give a shit?
What happened to Telenar's request? Did he put a new one through because that was the wrong one?
No, he just sent the link to the original one.
Okay, then I will do that one. And
Yeah.
I will get official... Oh, good lord, this is
VTubers are digital Muppets. Yeah, they're digital puppets. That's all they are. Right. I mean,
I had to do
unless
this
you're
on
one of these
Pro.
people who starts to, like, think that that's you, and I know that happens, but... level up your TTRPG campaigns. Oh, that's kind of cool. Alright, I'm going to download this thing. I want to see what it's like. Downloading it! Download Creator. I need that. It's in alpha mode, but let's see how it goes. I'm super curious now. Do. Extract all. Extract. The base VTubers have aggregated around at Skybrows. What's Skybrow? I don't know what that is. Oh, are you replying to somebody in the chat? I don't know. Smug, haha. You wonder why they thought women like this were witches and Satan's butthole and shit. Smug Alana. Yeah, so I think the thing that got me like I stream, well, I haven't been doing as much because Lindsay hasn't been feeling well, but I stream on my channel and I have like, I put up a different avatar every time depending on the game I'm playing, right? So when I was playing Fallout New Vegas, I put my Doge in a Fallout style outfit. I think it was like a vault suit, or what do they call them? The vault suits, right? In Fallout. And you know, then when I switch games, I switch the outfit. I had a Helldivers one. I have a Space Marine one. And well, I mean, I think that this could be super useful if it works. So, Charles says, thanks, Alison. Egregious Charles.
Okay.
Skybrows is the YouTube channel that creates those high-quality AI anime music videos. Oh, okay.
The last two.
Have you guys ever
So we got
seen
Fallen.
Psyop anime or this channel called Gossip Goblin? Dude, some of the stuff that people are making with AI is crazy good. Like, it's really, like, Hollywood is cooked. It's so cooked, bro. It's so cooked.
What time is it?
It's 4:43.
Okay, well, I'm going to finish this pretty quick.
Gossip Goblin is
So I got-
nuts. Yeah, dude, it is.
So for some reason, people think my avatar is a cat.
Your avatar is a cat? Oh, you mean
Yeah,
Badger Chan is a cat?
Yeah.
You mean Badger Chan is a cat? Is that what you mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. that's
Yeah,
what I mean.
I know. A lot of people do think that. I modeled her design off of the Derpy Badger that still is basically everywhere. So I just took that and I opened the Derpy Badger's mouth and I said, this is a hood, and I put her face inside of it. That was basically all I did. So, I mean, Derpy Badger doesn't really look like a badger either, but it doesn't matter, right? So.
Yeah. No. Also, was the guy who said that he likes it when Badger Chan goes nuts?
Hula
was he
Troopa?
talking about? Was he talking about like big-breasted Badger Chan or Gremlin Badger Chan?
Say what?
Was he talking about this one that I'm wearing now, Badger Chan, or was he talking about the big-breasted Badger Chan?
Oh, I think he's talking about the little one. This one. Yeah, the chibi one or the gremlin one, not the. Oh, Polaris says bring back big-breasted Badger Chan.
Yeah, of course you would.
Yeah. But
I feel like it's, I don't know, it sends the wrong message when I rant.
yeah.
I think it's amusing. I find the little gremlin amusing when she goes off, or I
Yeah,
go
sure.
off.
Oh, I get it. Or
I
single
know, it's
model,
like
no folder needed, assets for multiple models, my character. Oh, so you need to make some stuff. I guess I need the creator too then. I'm gonna have to go download that. Now you've got me. Now I'm gonna be like going through all this stuff. I'm gonna have to test it out on my channel. Mr. Nubid says Alison's VTuber model and the Beatsaber are both cool. Yeah, because there's a Badger Chan in the Beatsaber as well, right? What the heck is this song?
I have no idea. You know, today we may not get a lot of copyright strikes, honestly. You guys have really gone out of your way with the rarefied request here. Also, I cannot talk while doing this one.
Yeah, it's kind of hardcore, huh?
Hey, that's it. Oh god, I'm almost dead. Fuck, 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 fuck! No!
What happened?
I died! Oh, and this is on slow too. God damn it! Ugh.
It's on what?
It's on slow.
Is it?
I just got a severe penalty. Yes. Good lord, you guys are really trying to.
Doesn't
to
sound
destroy me
slow.
today.
Well, you asked for it.
I'm glad I'm not Gimp, guys. I'm glad I'm not Gimp today. Hey, is the air conditioning on? Oh, it is. Okay.
What?
Well, if the air conditioning wasn't on, I was going to request that it be put on, but apparently it is. So, I have nothing to request. Let's see if I got my Hail Mary. Alright, let's see. Oh, 109, right in the fucking... Oh, I gotta take that off. Well, I fucked up. Okay.
Yeah.
So the next one, I just did Nightwish Nemo. So the last one is
Well, don't forget Gabriel's too. Which one did you just do?
I did Gabriel's. I think.
You did
What was
Gabriel's? I spelled it out for you,
What?
right? Yeah.
Yeah. What was it?
What is it?
Yes. What is it?
Soichi Terada Mount Amazing 2?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Terichi Tamada? Oh crap. How did it oh god, so I still have 2 left. Ballroom Blitz. Is Ballroom Blitz like the 7th one? And Jonathan stops. And he goes back, and Scipio's standing there, like he got up, and he's just like completely silent. This fox is still there, but he's like, no, just completely silent. And then Jonathan's like, okay, you're going back in, I'm zipping you in. And he just goes, he does, he unclips him and he puts him back, and no protest, right? Just completely silent, just walks in, like, just no more interest in the fox. And then he goes home, like he zips it up and takes him home.
Yeah.
And it's like, I hope he learned something from that. There's a reason why we're, we try to keep you in there. So anyway, I'm sure I'm going to get a whole bunch of like, you're horrible to your dog.
Yeah.
It was a confluence of factors we've never seen before. One, the fox just trotting alongside, like he's trolling Skippy, right? We've never seen that before. Just like, hey, I'll cruise with you. Like, what are you doing, fox? Go disappear into the woods. And then also completely new pod.
Wait, did you just Oh, Alison like left. I gotta move her back in. Hold on a second. This is like a goofy thing that happens sometimes. Okay, you're back. I brought you back.
All right. So it was a completely new pod, and for some reason the foxes never did that before. It's almost as if they knew there was an exploit that they could enjoy. Because foxes are actually really freaking trolly. Did you know that?
The what?
Foxes are trolly. They troll.
Oh yeah.
They're trolls.
Yeah.
They're bloody trolls. Okay, so what was Gabriel's request?
Gabriel's request was Soichi Terada Mount Amazing 2.
Oh, this is gonna be some painful weeb shit. Okay. Oh, it's nice though. Oh.
All right, so in order for me to try this out, I need like an API key, either from Google Gemini or OpenAI. I don't have one. I might have a Google one somewhere, but
You're probably gonna need to buy that.
huh?
Yeah, they're probably gonna need to buy that. That may be available without a subscription though. It might be just a top up.
Yeah.
I use a Claude API key.
I don't know if it'll let you take it. They have two fields. They have one for OpenAI and one for Google Gemini. So, but
Yeah, that's
with
probably how
that,
it looks like.
I can try to create these VTubers to see what they're like. I mean, I found a workaround. Like I basically took the art I made, uploaded it to Grok Imagine, fiddled with it until it like animated the way I wanted to, then downloaded it as a video, then converted that video to a GIF, then, after putting it on like a background I can key out, I remove the background, and then I put it in OBS. Bit of a process, but that's what these are. Dark Kikimora gives us $5 and says, "Is it cool that John has an e-bike? I waited like a decade for them to be legalized here in New York City. Do you guys like velomobiles?" Who's John?
That's my husband, Jonathan.
Oh. It's
Okay.
cool that John has an e-bike. Oh, I see.
Yeah, well, it's in the middle, like rural Saskatchewan, so pretty much do what you want for the most
Yeah.
part. I mean, honestly, there's like two Mounties in the town, and they have their hands full dealing with the reservation that's within 20 miles. What the hell are they gonna do? Not in Minecraft. I'm not saying anything. Okay, I'm done. I'm gonna stretch. Okay? And I will give you my thank yous. Okay, and also, if I did get your song,
On
please,
your honor.
on your honor. Okay. Go to feedthebadger.com/support and put $25 in the hat. Jesus, what the hell? Okay. Oh shit. I think I just quit. I'm sorry.
You did, but just
Oh,
leave
well.
that there. Don't worry about it. It's okay.
Okay. All right. So I will I'll move over. I do want to do some stretching first, though, if that's okay. Do you have any
No, that's fine.
further comments? Anything from the
Um,
people?
I'll go through it and see if there's anything here. The road to popularity
All
is
right.
paved with slop, unfortunately, and Alison is trying to produce non-slop content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what velomobiles are.
I don't know what that
Yeah,
is either.
I'm trying to produce non-slop content. I'm trying to produce something that actually is beneficial to people, right? So I think that the fact that we can't pair bond is a problem that needs to be solved, because I feel like this is not something we can sustain if we don't try to solve it. I think it's sort of a critical, I mean, pretty much it's the critical activity that human beings need to do in order to continue to have anything human in the world. I mean, if we want to just go extinct, I suppose that's fine. Feel neutral about that. Okay. So that's it. Is there anything in the chat? Anything interesting people are saying? Is the vertical chat being special today?
No. Overall, I mean, there was a few people way early on that were asking to play, but I don't see anything now.
Well, I'm not sure how to make Beatsaber multiplayer available to people.
Well, I think if
I'm
you're
not sure
modding
if
the shit out of it too, it might not be compatible. So
yeah, it's not.
yeah. So I wouldn't sweat it.
I think if you want to play with us, you got to wait for a repo stream. And you got to be one of Brian's friends.
I mean, yeah, I guess. The aerodynamics of it make it faster than the bike. 60 miles per hour downhill. Wow.
Whoa. Yeah, we're not doing that. Especially not with a dog in the back. Okay, so I have one thank you so far, and that is to the Great Indoors, who put $25 in the hat for his song. So if you are somebody who is, I did get your song done, and I did do 7. So that would be, oh shit, $175.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, here, where we go. Spiky Helmet Badger put $25 in. Thank you, Spiky Helmet Badger. And Telemnar put $100 in. Thank you, Telemnar. And he also paid for the fees, which is the new thing that the fundraiser can do now. It'll allow you to pay for the fees, so we don't have to eat that. So thank you,
Yeah.
Telenar. Thank you, Spiky Helmet Badger thank you, Telenar, for 100, Spiky Helmet Badger for 25, and the Great Indoors for 25. So thank you, guys. And oh, that must Spiky Helmet Badger must have been the anonymous one who put something through.
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe. You want some music?
What the fuck was that?
Okay. Just for the people who donated.
All right.
All right.
Okay. Okay. So yeah.
What?
We're done, right?
All right, I'm gonna unlist the
See,
vertical stream.
AI would not have these awkward silences, would it?
No.
Right? No. That's how
No,
you
I
know
think
it's
people are just
authentic.
being weirdly
Ridiculous?
reactionary towards
Yeah.
the
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like, there's too much human shit that you guys, like, you watch us regularly, you know, we're too incompetent to be AI. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that, Brian. I mean, I'm too incompetent to be AI.
I mean, AI is pretty incompetent in a lot of ways, so I don't know what.
Oh, okay, fair enough, fair enough. All right, so I don't, like, I could say, you know, go to feedthebadger.com/support, and if I did your song, please put $25 into the fundraiser, because that's what this is the point. That's the point of this, is to get the fundraiser up, not
Yeah.
just Super Chows. So feedthebadger.com/support. If we did your song, or if you just want to help out to make sure that we can continue to bring you this stuff and I can continue to go into the data mines and explain to you exactly what this animal called feminism is in every capacity. Like when people will say, well, that's not my feminism, or there's lots of different feminisms. Yeah, you can point them to me because I've examined them all. I know their genealogy. I know what they coalesce on, right? And
Yeah.
furthermore, the only concept that's really important is patriarchy, because it's the concept that gives them license to do everything they do. And that
Yeah.
concept has none of the features of a legitimate scientific hypothesis conjecture. None whatsoever. Never been proven, never been operationalized, never been properly defined. And I'm sorry, but why should we be ruled by a group of people who are not held to even a freaking ethos? I mean, for God's sake, at least the Catholic Church had an ethos. I mean, and I'm not even saying at least. I'm saying, look, if we're gonna say religious institutions are bad, at least they have an ethos. At least they have like commandments. At least you can say they believe this, and they'll be like, yes, that's what we believe. Feminism is like, you're like, oh, do you believe this? And feminists are like, you're acting like you believe it, and it gives you license. And feminists will be like, I don't know. If believing it wins this argument, I believe it. If it doesn't win this argument, then I don't believe it. I will point to feminists that I will excommunicate in every other circumstance to prove to you that we don't believe this thing while we implement our actions based on the belief of this thing. It's like it's so fucking infuriating. You know, like I know you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. Dealing with these people. Like their religion is I always win. And I get to
Yeah.
do what I want and you have to comply. That's their freaking religion. All right. Anyway, so if you would like to support our efforts in challenging that, go to feedthebadger.com/support. Help us out. I know this is going to be going unlisted, so you have to do it now.
Not on
The
Rumble. It
moment
stays up on Rumble.
Oh, okay, so it stays up on
So
Rumble.
yeah,
And if you
nothing
want to send
happens
us a message,
there.
then go to feedthebadger.com/justthetip. And if you want to join us, badgernation.online. All right, there you go, Brian. I'm done.
Okay, well, if you're on Rumble, please follow us there and feel free to comment because it will be able to stay up because Rumble is not YouTube. But if you're on YouTube, just consider subscribing to the channel if you're not already and hitting the bell so you know when our shows go live. But this stream will be unlisted to protect us from, YouTube. So, anyway, thanks for everyone who helped out. And, I did get another Rumble rant right at the end here. I should read it. NovaFan21 gives $1 and says, Brian, are you aware of Neurosama, the AI VTuber? Yes, I am. Thank you. All right. Interesting stuff. But
What about them? What about them?
what
You can't
about
leave us
what?
hanging. What about
Well, no, is it
Neurosama? What?
no, it's nothing. It's just, there's a VTuber named Neurosama who is an artificial intelligence VTuber. So it's an AI. I guess, there's a guy who created it or whatever, and he talks to the AI, and people can send the AI questions and stuff. I know of it. I didn't watch a lot. I think I saw some shorts pop up on my YouTube, a while back. So, but anyway, yeah, that's all. Neurosama's an AI VTuber. So it's not like Kizuna AI, which is like the earliest, one of the early big ones, which was a real person with like full body, what do you call it? Full body capture or whatever. Pretty neat. But no, this is a different thing. But anyway, thanks guys for coming on the stream, and we'll talk to you guys in the next one. Have a good rest of your weekend.
Men's rights activists are machines, dude. Okay? They are literal machines. They are talking point machines. They are impossible to fucking deal with, especially if you have like a couple dudes who have good memory on top of that too. Holy shit, you're fucked.